It says you're live, exclamation mark. So, since I can't make videos, I can, but I can't get them out of the can. I wanted to do a real quick update on the new fish. Had a little bit of reservation last night on adding some of these small fish. I've just been feeding them some frozen food, well, in the last hour, and they're hopeful there's a round two. They are going to get some vegetable flakes and so forth here in a minute, but here we go. The Geophagus had 5, I think, of those little guys, 2 species. And the keyhole cichlids have kind of banded up together. There's 4 of the keyholes, and I think that's what I had. Dan put a couple extras, so I'm not sure of numbers, but I still have the bacteria bloom. But you can see those little guys are doing great, and they're down there picking at the plastic plants. Hey, Candy, just doing the update since I can't vid, and I hate that. I'm about to go out, and one of the places I'm going is the AT&T place. But yeah, these are all the little guys. They did fine. A couple of the big severums showed some interest in them as a food item, but we remember you, AK. I hope you picked up a couple of new friends from the shout out. That would be nice. Fish Room Fever, James. Big Tank Hank. Evening and welcome. Pam, Susan. But yeah, they're doing fine. These guys are doing fine, and they quickly learn that food comes from the big guy. And you see who followed me over to this side. Hey, Cole. Real congratulations today on your first live stream. Seems kind of like the planets aligned for you last night. That's the Balzini. Remember, I couldn't get that name to come out of my brain last night, and as soon as I was looking at the vid this morning, the live stream, I'm like, they're Balzinis. Why? Or Balzinis. But yeah, we've got the Hecklei to the left, and that Balzini has the black dot up on the dorsal. That's the only one I've got, but Dan only had the one. So those guys are doing awesome. The little ones are the keyhole cichlids, and they haven't really yet taken up with the keyhole cichlid that I got them to go with, who is the little guy there. So hopefully you'll get to enjoy their company and maybe even spawn. That's a male, a real easy male. Just pick. And I'm still just waiting and waiting for these Jurapari's fins to grow back. They're coming back, but from that move, most of the fish still have injuries. All right. That lady there, she had lost a big piece of her tail at the top, but you see it's more than half grown back, but it's clear. I hope it'll color back up. Yeah, Candy, thank you. I've had a couple of people actually say in comments to me when I've been going back and liking comments and responding to some comments this morning that they didn't realize that my still needed hours, and they are coming up. So apparently enough people are playing them to make an impact on them now. I was getting pretty discouraged about it a few days ago, but you guys are doing it. You're rocking it. So thanks, Candy. I wish someone knew for sure if that's what those little little guys there will look like. And this one's still a juvenile. He's not even halfway grown, so they're going to be stunning fish. Alrighty. So I called this an update on these guys. So let me try to stick to our agenda. I did get my laundry put away. It was hanging in the doorway. Hey, I'm just talking to the camera, guys. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Shh. I left the top up on this. That's getting to be a bad habit. Yeah, they're all right here too. There's Toby, the little paralyzed fellow. He's been up and ate and pooped and had his catheter drained, and he likes to lay like that and like to lay there, so likes his head hanging down, so I guess whatever. Actually 6, Alice. There's my low. The bed's actually being washed and changed today, so that's a clean pillowcase, but that's my low on the bed. My low. Look at the camera. Milo, look here. Nope, there he is. There he is. And we're not supposed to see him. Little Rico's the 17-year-old. Don't look at this floor, God. Let's see him underneath there. He takes his bed under there and has like a secret fort or cabin or something. He loves it under there, but he's the boss. He's the 17-year-old. He has the liver cancer, but he's doing awesome. Must be in some kind of remission. I haven't had him back to the doctor because he's doing awesome. They just had a little bit of steak for my breakfast, and I had some steak and eggs this morning. I'm trying to do, hey Chewy, trying to do Atkins diet because I've done that before, the low carb, high protein, and I can stick to that. What are you looking for, Zen? What do you want? Anywho, the new fish are those Danios, and I don't even hacked up something name, but they really do have a scientific name and are a separate breed. They're not bred to have orange fins, but the Danios that are the dark ones, not the rainbows, but on further back there. And they have orange fins. Don't do that. Just wanting to focus on that plant. Here we go. I was wanting you guys to be able to see how they colored up, but maybe you can. They have orange in their fins, and then the new chocolate Danios are swimming there with them. Hey, free swimmer, awesome to see you here. I know I often call out channels, and but free swimmer is one that you guys definitely want to check out. Last year, or maybe it's been over a year, correct me if I'm wrong, free swimmer, he built a plywood tank, and I think it's 1,200 gallons, 1,200 and something gallons, and he keeps South American cichlids in it, that's how I found him, because I love the Severums and Acaras and so forth. So he has an awesome channel. He knows his fish. He has some other tanks, but that 1,200 plywood, and even the build out of that and how he had to ventilate that room, it basically takes up a whole room. It's just a really good, thank you, Candy. And guys, I tell you, when I'm trying to get, hey Anthony, when I'm just trying to help somebody with their subs, but I don't know if he needs help or wants help with subs, but as far as, letting you guys know awesome channels I've found, that's what his is about. His is one, if you love those kind of fish or big tanks or how to make tanks. And he loves his fish, so I appreciate you coming, Free Swimmer. These are the, I can't remember the red tail somethings. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, this is the one, I forget to mention the last couple of times I've shown it, but this is the one with the 4-inch substrate. And Father Fish told me just to it's the third plywood build so far. It's a year and a half running, okay. 1,210, which includes a 210-gallon sump. Thank you. No, thank you, Free Swimmer. That was an awesome thing to watch him build that. Hey, Ness. Hey, Tiffany. Yeah, I know. We're just going to look at this tank and ramble a few minutes. I got to get out of here and go to the Ark. We've had a dog that was real popular, and we actually had over 100 people. And who got to do all those emails and then the follow-up emails. But I've narrowed it down to 4 people, and I've actually made a selection after sleeping on it. He's a Havashon, I think. No. Anyway, he's part King Charles Spaniel and part Bichon, and both of the parents were purebred AKC dogs. And Lady got him. Her husband passed away a few months ago, and she bought him at Petland, which has some nice puppies, but they're very expensive, and they come from breeders. And we need good breeders. But anyway, he's just a delightful dog, but she decided she just couldn't, that it wasn't the best thing to get a dog while she was in grief. And it was, I think it was bothering her more to have him now, but she'd taken excellent care of him. Wish I could remember what it was called. Anyway, so I'm going to be going over and, hey, come here, Dan. Come here, Dan. Come here, Dan. Come here, baby. Yazzie. That was the biggest one, the hound wanting to jump on the bed, and the smallest one, Yazzie, the little chihuahua, telling him no, he can't jump on the bed. I could turn that light off back there, we wouldn't have the glare. I've also built up my school of green tetras. Some of them are fairly new. And where are they? There they are back there. Yeah, I've seen this stuff about that, and the one here in Dalton near Chattanooga, they have been really under close scrutiny with some of the rescue groups, and I followed that. And of course, nationally, they're trying to change the perception of their, how they get them and all that. But I have bought some puffers and stuff there. In fact, Ed and I were in there maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, and I picked up some of those little puffers. But I did notice that it didn't smell like urine in there, that they had cleaned up the place. It looked clean before, but it smelled like dog pee. So I don't know where they get them, but they have all those commercials that say they get them from breeders, that the dogs are playing out in the grass and all that. So I know there are good breeders and there are bad breeders, and just like when we had foster homes for the Ark pets before we got our own building, we had fosters that weren't worth a shit, excuse me, and that's why I had to set a standard of care, and the ones that wouldn't do it or couldn't do it or didn't care enough about the pets, we had to cut them loose. But well, I hope so. But again, I don't know where that puppy came from, but he doesn't have any deformities or, he went to our vet and was checked out, and no congenital things is what I really mean. So no heart murmurs, no nothing. And he's just barely 6 months old, but he's very social and just a delightful pet. Havashon, I don't know. But they're very sought after, and we had people come from Atlanta, yesterday, actually, to visit him. We had people come from Knoxville. We only adopt within a 2-hour drive radius, too, so that if something happens and they won't or can't bring a pet back, it's easy for us to get it back. So anywho, how did we get on that? Oh, I'm going to the ARC to notify the person that's going to get it. It's someone local. It's actually someone in Chattanooga. So he's just going about 30 minutes away. And I doubt any of the 4 that I've narrowed it to would be bored enough to be watching my live stream. But the lady's a speech therapist at Erlanger. Of course, me being an old nurse, Erlanger was my first job in open heart ICU back in '78. I was 21. Can you imagine having that responsibility? Jesus, I can't now. But when you're 21, you can do it all. Anywho, I really, really loved her. Her little girl didn't seem that interested in him, but her little boy did. And her and her husband really like him. So she had done a lot of research on the breeds and had a list of questions, which I loved. People often forget to ask, what are you feeding them? What's their schedule? Stuff like that. So when people do, that shows they're really... Hey, Cowboy, I just watched your video a while ago about snails, and I actually shared that. I don't think I mentioned it in the comment to the Facebook page. Fish tubers notification, so you may see some people show up that you don't know. Hopefully you will, but I thought that was a good video, and you raised some good points, so I just shared it. It just take a second. Yeah, they'll be thrilled to get it, and I told her I wasn't going to call people last night because it would be late after we had our last visit, and that I didn't want to, bother people, and she said it won't bother me, so... But yeah, I was talking about Father Fish, got off on the ARC. I can't believe I'm finding my way back. This tank needs to have the plants trimmed up a little bit. Thank you, Candy. Thank you. But you can go there and see your video, Cowboy. Anyway, this has really just doubled in size in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't done an update on it in that long or longer. I actually have been looking at them. I know, follow the light, Ness, right? I was looking at them earlier when I was doing the morning feeding, the frozen food feeding, and Cole, come to Arizona. Well, look at this guy fired up here. Where are you at? I would have more yellow rainbows, but Ginger always gets my, I won't say which Ginger, but Ginger always gets my rainbows from Bob Steamfont. That glare is about the worst I've seen. So this is why I wanted them to build. There's the Madagascar. I know Ginger's getting some of those too. It's not that I don't have plenty of rainbows, I just only have a couple of the yellows. Those guys are from Dan, and I wish someone knew what that was. Saw a rainbow the other day that I thought it might be. So while Bob Steamfont is getting some yellows, yeah, I was looking for an unboxing of that moss, Mandy. While he's getting those yellows, I went ahead and got a 6-pack of, I don't know, those aqua teal powder blue ones that were really cool that he has, but with our weather here, he's going to wait and send those Monday. So I will have those. They probably won't go in here pretty much unless I put some yellows in there. Hang on. Probably they'll go down here. There are a lot of rainbows in there, and they're big ones, but they're toward the back. And I've got those Parkinsoni, which I also have a group of those from Bob that are growing out in a 29 gallon. But they're what they call fire in the water. You can see the orange on their body and skin, fins, skin. There comes one up close. And then I've got the elusive and very rare Godiata Kai from Lucas. Those are the ones that swim with his tetras there behind him. And there are several of those in there. Looks like my rock has slipped down. That rock usually stands up like a divider. So it's slipped down. But yeah, I need to get in this tank too. And all my tanks are needing. There's a Godiata Kai. It's a small one, but got one about maybe 50% that size again. And I was going to move these guys over to the 180, but I'm going to hang on right now. I would like to get them somewhere that I don't have to stand on my head to appreciate them and enjoy them. But, well, I have rambled for 21 minutes. So I'm going to be quiet a minute and try to read some of the stuff from the chat. Those are the fish we came to check on right there. One of those hythus or whatever they are, actually two of them, the Danios with the pretty orange fins. I have a couple of things that I was concerned about. They did not arrive with them. You can see on their fins they could be damaged from just shipping overnight, or they came individually in those little bags. Dan does such an awesome job. Dwarf rainbows. I've got some of those little, I forget what else I had in that tank back there. There's a third type. You guys make praecox, that's what they are. But see, there's a little bit of a white spot on that guy, and that probably happened overnight, and it's from stress, but I've thrown some Paragard in here already this morning, which I'll do for 2 weeks. I could pull that, there he is again over to the right, but I could pull that fish, and there's another out, but I'd rather just go ahead and make sure everybody's okay. Paragard, I think that's Malachi Green and something else, and it's an old thing. For those of you that are old, you'll recognize it. But I really like it. I have great results with it, and it's fairly non-toxic if you keep the dose. You can double dose with it and stuff, but I never do that. I just be sure that I run the 2-week course so that anything that's in there it kills. Hey TJ, I told you that I lost those shades, didn't I, Ness, when I traded my black Buick for this truck, and they said that they weren't in there, but I know they were because I never could find them after that. And also my little thing that held my phone to the air conditioner vent that clipped on that. But I did find me some other cool sunglasses. I like to get them at the Dollar Tree. They're $1 because I lose them all the time. The ones I've got are pretty cool. They just don't fit over my glasses anymore because I have new glasses. So yeah, I'm glad I treated that guy there. He ate this morning, so we'll see. I did, yeah. I just didn't make sure well, I didn't have my new glasses then. I got some tortoise shell woo-woo because the other I had were so raggedy, and Toby finally chewed them up. He actually scratched them up. Never took Spanish, Cole. I took French and failed it. If you can imagine with this Tennessee twang. A lot of people in my class did pass it and did well, but it was not a good one for me. I have not. I started to say I was looking at those this morning, and I think there are three main groups I'm going to sort them into. Yeah, don't demote me, Ness, please. Um, I need a couple of more 10-gallon tanks. Um, but I don't have them when I do that chewy. Is it the silvery ones that have the short tails, the round tails, like the bluish silvery, that have the magenta gene real strong? Hey, G-Bear. Yep. And all that came, from, thank you, Ness. All those came, from a guppy. I just found it. Obviously, it jumped because they're right beside each other, the tanks. Yeah, it may be that we need to get new people running it. I don't know who to ask. How do you know that, Candy? I don't doubt you. I just want to know how do you know it? My favorite species that I currently have, I've already shouted BTW out, and I hope you guys went and looked at his channel. All of you say you love puffers, or a lot of you do, and he's got them. Also, what would you like to get but do not have yet? Well, I guess I have to say, it's real tempting not to say that new Fugu puffer, but he's pretty wild. He's a cool kid, but and he and Linus are getting along famously now. They argue over food and actually get those big bloodworms and do tug of wars and pull them apart. So they're doing awesome. So I'm glad I left him in there that night and didn't freak out. My favorite is definitely Dharma the Fahaka. She's my biggest freshwater right now. And my God, I hate to even swing in that direction. That's Yazzie on the pillow. But there's Dharma the Fahaka. She's staring at the Chihuahua. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm too old and lazy to get up. Yep. But yeah, that's Dharma. That tank that's also facing us on the extreme right is the giant crebensis that are colony breeding, and I also need to move them up to a bigger tank. And I need to sell some of those. Dan has told me a couple of times that people ask him for them or if I'm selling them, and oh, you don't even know, Ness. Look, and look down below. And then around the corner from me here, there's another tank. It's that swordtail tank and pea puffer tank. And that's the lizard there. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get some of these out of here just to give me a little more room. I mean, I'm fine, but it would be nice. This one's empty. See the ropefish reflected in it. And I'm done with ropefish, guys. I have lost two while the smaller one stayed in here. Got them a platform, which is a turtle floating platform. Hey, Golden, another great channel there. But the turtles could crawl up on that, and nothing can really get out that lid there. It's got a tiny space, but it's very heavy. But yeah, both of them got out multiple times, and I'm not going to get another one. Just keep this guy. I'm not sure why this one little green neon doesn't join up that crowd over there. Must be a loner. Yeah, whose numbers went down? Mine are going up. What was I going to ask you, Golden Fish Tank? Oh, we were talking about on your video. And by the way, he always has awesome, gorgeous, gorgeous fish and tanks and bids, which I don't. But his are very manicured. But you've got some geophagus, and I mentioned keeping them without salt, and you said they were doing okay. Are they still doing okay? They've got pea gravel, and they try to sift it, but they actually can't sift it through their gills. So I wanted to kind of follow that and see if they did fine with that, or if you ended up giving them some sand. It was a year ago or so, but Candy said that's not right. Well, why would he say it if it wasn't so? Doing fine? Awesome. Okay. Geos always worry me too, those that do the heavy sand sifting like the Jurapari. I forget what yours were. There's so many beautiful geos. They're such an underrated fish. But like my Jurapari, I always worry about them having flat bellies and a straight line underneath. But that's just the way they're built. But they're heavy sand sifters. But they also love the flakes and the frozen brine shrimp and all that. They have little bitty, not small mouths by any means. They have huge mouths, but they have small gullets. And so you have to make sure their food is fine because they're used to getting the little microscopic things filtered out of the sand. Is that what he has, red hump? Which is also the redhead Tapaho. You were raised right, Ness. See that? Geo's woot woot. She was raised right. Oh. 32 minutes. Hey, Mark. Welcome. It's a grass-like plant in the front. I actually just have the one kind in here. And this is Cypress helferi, and it's actually spelled Cyprius or something similar to that, and then helferi, Helferi. How I remember that scientific name, I have no clue, except I've just been asked so many times. But it's doing pretty good since I put the sand in. It's got a couple leaves turning brown, but I tell you, the algae that I had in here, wow, it's gone. This guy over here is the same plant, and you can see some of the old algae on it that's dying. But this one is maybe a little bigger, but it's got entangled with some floating wisteria, which gets blown around in here a lot. Some stuck over there on that intake. There's a hang-on back filter there. That's a aqua clear over there, I guess a 50, and this is a tidal 55. So this tank is hugely, and then because that's not enough, there's a reflection there too, largest sponge filters. There's one, yeah, you can see it back there in the corner. So this tank is very over filtered, and actually I would have beneficial bacteria die if I didn't have this bio load, and it's actually one of the reasons the plants are doing so well. You got your green tiger barbs today. I thought you were just getting plants. You didn't say you were getting tiger barbs. But that's all the grass. There's some, what do you call them? Wow, those things that are real easy to grow. Somebody put it on there. Swords, yeah. My memory. These guys, I'm not sure. I've got a little dieback. Those were a cultured plant, and I'm not sure what they are. I think they're crib swords. Thank you, Candy. And this is also a Nubius, and it's one that does okay with its rhizome at the top of the sand. I used to try to get it to attach. There's some little swords in there. Wow. The water wisteria is everywhere. It seems like I have some other plants. Oh, these guys right there in the center. I forget what they are, but they have some red in them, and I never do well with red or purple plants. Never ever. So I'm hoping that after they've died back, they are a stem plant. They've lost their leaves, but I'm hoping they'll come out. They are trying to. Where's one with the plant? You can see there a plant coming out on the stem back behind there. So we'll see. I had a ton of hygrophila in here, and I mean a ton of it, and like one plant that was, I guess, 3 feet or maybe longer. I did a video about that a couple of years ago, not promoting my videos, but I just had to clean it out because the fish couldn't even swim. And I sent a bunch of it to Kendall Otter, and it's done really well for him. Awesome for him. Somebody's up. That's his food from last night, and I found that, of course, he doesn't have to eat every day. He has to have food every day. Sometimes if I leave his food, that's getting a little bit crispy, but he will eat it, like a bug or something. So I think it's some Java fern. Oh yeah, I had some Java fern too, Carry Nature, in that tank. It's attached back there to there's a big piece of wood, a really nice piece of wood that kind of hides that filter. It used to be in the center of the tank, and I decided to hide it. But yeah, I was going to take you over here to Algae City. This tank needs a redo, just like I've done on that. But here's Dharma the Fahaka, Pam, Candy. She's got her own little fan club, and what she's doing is laying there watching Yazi. And of course he doesn't acknowledge her, but Dharma the Fahaka. So that's my favorite BTW. I never said what I would like to have. Yeah, I know you do. She was such a tiny thing. She was smaller than her tail when I got her a little over a year ago. She's kind of facing us, so, and that's the corner of that tank. There she comes. I had that bitterling that Dan sent me as a surprise, and he had one left, and he knew I had bitterlings, which are that fish there. I have 4 in here. And I put it in here, and it really freaked out. And it made the mistake of getting down near her a couple of times, but she did not get it while I was watching. So I hope it's in here. It was hiding in the plants. I didn't see it eat this morning. Here's one of the hoplo catfish. So you see, you can keep fish with puffers. And everybody says they're great till they're not and all that. I think, to me, what did Cole do? Let me go back and look. Cole was out of order yesterday. Teachers give. I started to say, aren't you in school? Yeah. The teacher gives you the death stare. That's almost like getting timed out. Yeah, but I think I already said this, but my thoughts about puffers are that they're kind of like pit bull dogs. Some people here, I'm sure, hate them. They're terrified of them. But like any dog or anything, it's what you put into it and the way you treat them and what you teach them. If you're gentle with them, if you love them, they'll be your best friend forever. And puffers are the same way. If you promote them eating fish, if you put fish in with them that stay on the bottom all the time, like if I had small cories in here, of course, she's going to be triggered to eat those. Pretty tail. The angle's making her look squatty. She's long. She's about 9.5, almost 10 inches. It's kind of hanging out to see if I could see that bitterling. She didn't eat this morning. She was too busy watching Yazi, the Chihuahua. But I can probably get her up for a wafer. Heaven Bound Farm. Heaven Bound Farm is one of my subs. Welcome. Well, like I just said, and a lot of people hate Chihuahuas. They're terrified of them, and there are some Chihuahuas that have been taught to be mean. And I'm not sure what Yazi's deal is. I think that he was just tormented by kids when he was little, trying to see if she'll take a wafer. Fugu. Fugu. I initially called it Pugu, because I'm senile, but I put his sticker from the store. It's one nice thing at that store. When you buy the fish, they give you the sticker on the bag, but it helps them. Yeah, you were right if that's what you said. Okay, she's got three in there. Algae. These are the, I forget the store on Get Gales. Let's see, you can see more evidence of my Cory cat addiction. Try to keep those hidden away, but these angels came from Bio Aquatics. I think that's the name, and it's the guy that Dan knows and really respects a lot that has that on there. And he sent them as samples when I got 4 little discus, tiny discus last year. And of course, the discus didn't make it, so that was my third, I think, and last attempt. But these guys did, and they're like 7 or 8 inches tall. They're big. This is a 20 tall. So it also entertained the idea of putting them in the 180. So there are the catfish, there's the gold barbs, and there are also some killifish that hide up here. And there are some, Bob Steenfott has them right now, brilliant rasboras. I've always loved those. And they're up in the plants as well, I'm sure. But yeah, I'd like to move these cories into a tank that has a better footprint and has some plants, like that 40 over there. But it already has a lot of fish in it. One of the hoplos is making a move on her wafers, and the other one moved into its spot. It came off there, and it smells the wafers. But they're algae wafers. And she is giving him the side eye. I don't think she's gonna let him have it. Yeah, I got those. Now, to say that she never nips at them, see his tail, but she could do that on his neck if she wanted. Those are just like, get away from my food. There he goes. There he goes. Nope, that's a rock. That's not the wafer. He's sizing her up. They're both very, very, very fast, so they hardly ever actually meet up. I know, right? She's got that eye on him. Okay, there's a pellet up there on the rock by her tail, but he didn't try it. Yeah, like all puffers, she can be very fast. Here he comes back around. Hey, Miss Southern Belle. Uh-oh. I didn't see what happened to the wafer. I think it's down beside her on the sand. This actually isn't sand. This is that substrate that Petco sells. I just dropped one of my wafers. And I didn't realize it wasn't sand when I bought it, but it didn't say it was on it. It just said substrate. So, of course, it's got all the beneficial bacteria in it now. So, but I think I can cap it. I'm gonna talk to Father Fish about that. She wants to get a wafer, but she's also thinking that Yazzie Bear's watching. She's so funny. She's got a big, sharp beak. Thanks, BTW. I don't know what I would get, coming back to your second question. I don't know what I would get. And if it would be salt or fresh water. Toby. See you, Daniel. Yeah, she's not as bad about the camera as she used to be. Thanks, Daniel. Zach, the crazy aquarium guy that was, I think, yesterday or day before in our live stream, he has a puffer like this. Oh, there she goes. She didn't see the wafer, but she knows it's there. He has a puffer like this, and it's bigger than this one now, I'm sure, because it was this size maybe a year ago. And it's a female because it spawned, I think, twice. I mean, a billion eggs all over. And her name is Miss Sunshine. Yeah, that's that Cypress Helperi too, Alice. But if I had more substrate in here and some, Pam, that's the stuff back there, that sword, I forget the name of it. It's not rare, but you don't see it that commonly. I sent you a clipping of that and that plant soup. I think you said it made it, but they've got them chewed down and all that. I need to pull those out and repot them, put them in a different tank. All this has is an Aqueon hang on back and that one sponge filter. And all this has down here with all those cories and those big angelfish is that smallish sponge. And then there's a hang on back, a small one back there that may be plugged up. I don't see water falling, so. 49 minutes, and I'm going to let it go 10 more because I'm already late for being at the Ark. That's a good rationale, isn't it? Oh, I'm already late, so I'll just be later. Girl, where you going? Get up. Here she comes. She loves water changes, really loves them. Are there any people in here? I'm trying, yeah, 29 and 33 likes, not bad. Middle of the day on Wednesday. I need to get myself the schedules for live stream, so during this time that I'm having to live stream and can't do vids, that I'm not going over people. Oh, she told him to get away, back off. All right, Dharma, I'm going to leave you alone. Here's you a couple of wafers that have already been snapped. Oh, they don't want to fall. There's one. And she went on that fast a few months ago and had me scared to death and me getting every kind of thing possible. Yeah, that's what I figured, Candy. I'm gonna still check though and see if anybody I'm sub to is just like I did Aqua Balls then. And I hope he didn't stop because I mentioned that that's what I was doing. I was checking. I didn't want him to stop. I was enjoying his video. Well, Dharma, if that's all you're gonna do, got snails that are showing more action than that. They're getting really excited now because they know all those wafers in there. Alice, this tank is a 55 and it's a plexiglass. I got two of them at the same time, and my big cobalt, Jack Dempsey with all of her babies and her husband are in the other one. And she came out of a 29, but she was the only fish. She, didn't have the boyfriend and the babies then. Less people? I don't know. Some people say that if you post videos or stuff while people are right there at the computer and the big channels are on, it increases your chances of getting views, so. Probably Alice. She's fine in here and she's growing and she has plenty of room. She's got all that wood to hide behind. There we go with the wood. All these plants that, and somebody was asking, I think it was Cole, why I throw away plants. This is a perfect example. I'm not up at 4 a.m. unless it's to go to the bathroom. But yeah, you see here, this is a great example. So anybody wants these plants, send me a SASB, self-addressed stamped bag. But I have lots more of that same plant. Get back. Now that's Toby's water bowl. He always takes some water. And that's my skin so soft. I grease my ankles and elbows when I go to bed. People are like, what's lotion doing there? You could these, William. Oh, here's some of my, the reason I came over here is here's some of my, some of the plant that I sent Kendall Otter. I was talking about hygrophila. And it was the willow, I think. So there's a bunch of that in there. You need to plant it so it'll grow up like the stem plant it is. That's what that is. A big ball. So, yep. In this tank, they usually run, I don't check my nitrates that often, but I definitely do at least a month on all the tanks. But this usually runs about 10 to 15. So I don't really push the bio load on this because I'm having trouble, like with the potted plants. those were a lot bigger and they've cut them back. But the Helferi's really grown out. There are two of those Helferi in there actually. But it still runs. She's a big fish. She's a big girl. So, and then there's the 15 gold white clouds up there. And the hoplos, they have pretty good bioloads. So I don't push this one at all. Had another plant over here that might have been some of that. Already forgot it. I don't like nitrates to get above 30 because they can get away with you when you're pushing it. They can get away from you. I've had that happen a couple times in the last couple of years. Toby, what you need? You need to be turned over? Need a drink? Need a drink of water? Huh? Need a drink of water? I see Nelson's over there polishing off that food from last night. Yep. Just missed you a little bit, Nelson. Just missed you. Hold on, Toby. Here we go. Here we go. He wants to be turned, or it's like rain. It stimulates him to try to lick up the water. Nelson, not Toby. So he doesn't mind being misted. That's actually a real piece of wood from outside, and when I mist in there, it turns green. The moss comes back up. Don't tell the blue tongue skink police. And I've got this far now with all of his plants and stuff from Hobby Lobby, but I don't even remember some of the stuff I got. Sorry. It's 2 hands. I'm holding tablets in my hand, but it's all kinds of stuff like this and I've got lots of clay pots that are sitting around in the way that could be put in here. So yeah, some pretty cool things. I'm not kidding you guys. I spent over $100 on the stuff for this habitat and for the 180. And they both will be huge improvements. I just gotta do them. Maybe I'll take this stuff out of the bag and then I'll have to do it because I won't be able to get in and out of the top. It's some pretty cool stuff. Once they're down in there under the light. Should I put them in pots, clay pots, or just stick them in there like, well, that one's turned over, or just kind of stick them down in the substrate? See you, Anthony. Always good to see you. Yeah, should I pot these things? If I do, I'll probably have to try to group them, and I definitely am no florist, no arranger of stuff. But I've got to rinse them all off and get them. Oh, this one I remember is pretty cool. And these things are not that expensive. It was the other stuff I got. Okay, that's what I'm going to try next, because I can always go back and pot some of them. Or he loves that one that fell down, and that's where he lays a lot of times. So he's really going to like these things. But these things are like $2 at Hobby Lobby. Hey, Frosted Frog. I think that's about all of them. Yep, it is. It is. So I've got all of that stuff. I guess there's no light on this, huh? There should be. Where would a light be? Where the little dots are? No. Enable flash, mute microphone. It's weird. Oh well. That's what I've got to add in there. And make sure that stuff's not touching, because that is hot, hot, hot. I know, don't touch the buttons. This thing here is so sensitive. Sometimes when I get in there, it's got its own built-in ballast and stuff, which is good, because if it tips over just a little, it turns itself off. And I used to do that all the time accidentally with it, and then it takes a while for it to come back up after it cools off. So yeah, I'll try to get some of this stuff in there. Basically, all I got to do is cut the tags off and run it under some water and put them in there. He'll love it. I'll get that done today. Whew. Ooh. All right, Toby. Oh, he's got off of his blankie, his towel. Here, doll. Let's get him a drink. Hey, Ed. We're rambling. Trying to get my hours up. There he goes. That might be nice, Carrie. I don't know that I have the skills to do that. But I may just, oh, baby. He spilled his water. He spilled his water. He's gonna lick it up, but he might be laying in it. All right, let's get him up out of there. Let's get him back over here. Now, I don't want you in water. Yeah, there's water there. Do you want some more? Let's get him some more. Good boy. See you, cowboy. Oh, you're welcome. It's a great video. Y'all go check his video out. It's on Fish Tubers. Or his channel, and give him a like and a sub. God. It's all right, Toby. He's about got it all drank except what he spilled. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yep. Finish off that. He is, Miss Southern Belle. He's had a bad back for a few years, his lower back, and walked pretty stiff. See, he's got a lot of muscle wasting. But watch this. He can move his legs when he wants to, just a little bit. See, he's pulling, see, he pulled his leg up. And he couldn't do that at all. And the other day I was being silly and holding him up like an airplane and had him on his back, of course in the air, and he knows I'm crazy anyway, and he started kicking his back legs like, don't drop me. Toby, you were kicking your heels up, weren't you? But anyway, he finally had a disc rupture in his neck, and he went through several months of high-dose steroids, extended therapy, so we had to watch all of his liver and kidney function and all that, and also muscle spasm stuff and pain stuff, right? And also he was taking Prozac because he used to have some really bad anxiety attacks, especially when it finally began to sink into him that I can't get up. But look at him move. Look at his back legs. Now, he hasn't seen the doctor since he started doing that like a week ago. And of course, I'm an old nurse, and so I do what's called range of motion and bend all of his. I gotta get me a gimbal. Ed, did you order your gimbal? I realize we kind of dropped that conversation, but I get him up on the bed or a counter where I can work with him, and he pushes back, which is great, but I bend all of his joints. I have, Carrie. I definitely have, and I did that with a dog. Did we pause? There, it's back. I did that with a dog I had years ago in Florida. Careful with it, they aren't designated as an aquarium plant. Yeah, that was Scott, King and Queen cichlids. Look at him wanting his bowl. Don't spill it. He wants that last little swig. That's a swig. Come on. No, he wants the bowl moved. See, he can. Come on, baby. Watch this. Come on. Nope, he wants that bowl moved. He's finished with it. He wants it out of the way. Yeah. That's a baby. All right, he's in charge of that bowl, aren't you? Anyway, well, he's exactly the same dog. He just can't walk. But look at him trying to sit up. Last night we were on the bed and he kept looking like at his hind knee, and he raised all the way up and was like chewing on himself like he had a flea or something. He doesn't. He just had a bath like 2 days ago. But yeah, I asked the doctor for the Foley catheter so that he didn't pee on himself all the time, and that's why he has no skin breakdown at all. He poops usually once a day, and he owes me a poop. Toby, you owe me a poo-poo. That upsets him, and that used to make him have an anxiety attack. Toby, see him trying to get up and moving his legs. Yep, he can move them. Look at him kicking. Dr. Lane's going to be surprised. But he takes no medicine at all now. I just went his Prozac off in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, it's awfulness. Toby. Toby. What are they doing? What are they doing over there? Need to sweep in here, don't I? I have lots and lots and lots. It did, and that's why I moved him back over on the towel. It did. It's actually all ran down the floor there, over to their pecan, I call it. So I've still got to bleach this room today. I haven't done it. So. Yep. You a good boy? Yep. And I have an IV bag. It's an empty bag with tubing. That's what they suggested at the vet, and I hook it up to this bag. I pull that syringe out. This just makes a perfect plug. Occasionally he'll get this and pull it out, or it'll come out, but and I do catheter care on him every day with betadine, and rinse him off with some saline so he doesn't get an infection there at the insertion site. And that way we keep him from smelling like pee-pee and keep him clean. He is a good man. Oh, he hasn't changed at all. He doesn't like my terrier, Winston, and honestly, that may be what happened to his neck, because he used to try and argue with Winston, and still does, all the time, and Winston would get tired of it and, make him quit. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. I didn't see it if it was. 15. Yeah, he's 15. A little spilled under his chin. 15, yep. I never seen a thing that a dog can pee in. It's just like Miss Southern Belle, it's just like people that are in the hospital, that have a Foley catheter. But I got tired of changing those diapers and pads, and you have to wash him, every time. Really bathe him because he's got the fur, right, Toby? He heard me say bathe. Well, he's literally a full-time job. He's like having a baby, but he does great when I'm gone. He doesn't get turned while I'm gone, but let's turn him over. Let's roll him over. There he goes. Oh, whoa. Now. It's been long enough to turn. Yeah. He can see what's going on in the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, and over at the desk. He's making sure he can see. Yep. And when the dogs walk by, there goes Daniel, but he gave you a wide berth, didn't he? He can give them some grief, huh? All right, guys. It's been over an hour. So I really will say goodbye. I know when I'm on a live stream and people keep going. Hey, Dan's Fish. Well, I just said for about the 30th time that I'm out of here, but I will not be out of here just yet. I need to be out conducting business and haven't done that yet. Oh, okay, Dan. All right. It's just an hour of rambling, just more of the same old man walking around. This one's got the dog in it, and some of that stuff. My little paralyzed dog. The fish are all doing great. Oh, that's what attracted you, the title. They're all doing great, Dan. The only concern I've had, and it wasn't there when the fish came in, and I went ahead and put these guys in. I know you should always quarantine, but I don't your fish anymore. The Daniels, the Chopra, and I can't pronounce the other one, let alone spell it, are pretty much hanging out in here's that leaf again, in the center back there. But one of the fish, the orange finned is what I'll call them, this morning came up with a little spot on it. Let's see. I'll show it to you if I see it. So I'm a big old fan of Paragard for things like that. Well, I think it's the other way. Did you see it? Okay. The chat keeps rolling up there. Well, that's what I went ahead and treated, and rather than pulling it out, it wasn't there yesterday. So I'm thinking it may be from an injury in the bag, or maybe an injury, after they first got put in here. But I'll watch it. They got plenty of the appropriate dose of Paragard. There's one of Dan's fish there. A couple of them. Had those guys a while. I added a few more to that from our meetup. There's some more back there, some babies. Cole, you should go back and look at my unboxing video, just the first 10 minutes of it, because it's like 30 minutes, I think, from yesterday. But Dan has an awesome system in the way he packages them. They're in little bags, double bagged, and just a little bit of water and a little bit of air. So he sent those in a box. I had over 20 fish in there, each in individual bags. So yeah, there's the one with the little white blotch on it. But whatever it is, I'm on it. So got new guppies today. Cool. Where did you get them from, Carrie? Thank you, Candy. Wow, I'm not used to this. This is nice. Where did you get your guppies? Hey, see, that's what I was just telling you guys. That's the one that gives him grief sometimes. That's old Winston. Winston, come on, leave him alone. You can see Toby doesn't want him bothering him, but Winston doesn't know how to take no. Come on, Winston. Come on, Winnie. Leave him alone. There we go. So that's what I think happened. There's something between those two guys. Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with the fish coming from there, Dan, at all. I don't think it has anything to do with that. So, but the Chopras are a little bit different than the ones I already had. There are a ton of fish that aren't new fish that are down behind there. So those guys are kind of staying up above. All right. Guys, I gotta do what I've been talking about doing and get on out of here. This is my father fish tank, Dan. And this has never been vacuumed since I put this in there, so let's see how clean it is. All right, Dan said see you later, so we're out of here, guys. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, mods, especially for promoting my playlists and posting all those links, and it really makes a difference on the success of a stream. All right, guys, have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you soon. Since I can't video, I'll be live streaming when I have something to share. Bye-bye. Bye, Ness. See you, Cole. But watch that unboxing yesterday. Dan has an awesome system. See you, Jesse. Bye, Carrie. See you, GRB. Bye, Susan.